What's going on, guys? I'm back in Stockton with the world famous Lamar at his shop, Total Shop Prestige. We're back for redemption. We got full bolt-ons on the Matrix. We have hopefully a patch harness that works for the link. There's the dyno that I'm standing in. We're gonna measure a baseline on what the race header did, along with the cold air and the GReddy DT exhaust off the stock 03 ECU. Then hopefully we'll hook up the link and maybe we'll make power, or maybe it won't start. We'll see one more time. All right, key.
Sounds cool.
Does it breathe? No. A preliminary dyno run. Apparently, everything's all calibrated, ready to roll. We're just getting a fan set up on the front, and we'll see what it does on this first pull. Let's see. Oh, what is it? All right. 150 horsepower. Having the fan apparently made a big ass difference, because we're looking at all of a sudden it looks like even the stock airbox or stock, you make more torque earlier on. Apparently. But power gains up at the high end, that red line and that green line right there, that seems significant.
Yeah. What we need to add is a wideband. Let me add a wideband to the exhaust real quick, because I'm really curious to see what the damn part is. Oh, look, a wideband.
Oh shit.
I got a wideband.
And essentially, having the wideband at the exhaust, you're just measuring what the air fuel ratio is at the exhaust. Yeah. And is this to see mainly if it's running rich or lean?
Yeah.
Or what is?
Yeah, it's just to see if the ECU is trying to compensate for something, if the car is in some sort of fail safe or something like that, where it's biasing too rich or something like that.
Okay.
And that'll explain why your graph looks a little unconventional.
Unconventional.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. XRS 2ZZ. Unconventional. All right, so baseline results just off of the straight full bolt-ons off the stock 03 ECU. Compared to last time, we picked up about 10 horsepower. Last time this dyno 140 to the wheels. This time, first run 150 and 94 foot-pounds of torque.
Just enough to move somebody.
Nothing's on fire. Looks like we hit 151 and 96 that time.
But now we got a fair bit more information, which we can go look at. So, like just in the beginning of the pull, you're like roughly around like stoic AFR, which is around like 14.7 or so. And then the second it like tips into that first like big dip, the car does go rich, like 12 flat, and it's kind of pretty much just like 12 flat all the way across, and then it goes even richer up top where it goes into like the 11s. And this typically is something that like on a car like this, I would run closer to like say 12.7, 12.8 on a naturally aspirated car. So like typically it would just come down to like maybe right here and then kind of carry across, and it wouldn't go rich up top because that's what this dip is. So a lot of this like goes up once you lean the AFR mixture out. It's just unnecessary amounts of fuel.
And that's more of like a safety thing, the ECU is protecting itself from.
Yeah, because when they design these cars from factory, they don't know what kind of environment the car is going to be in. So it's easier to err on the side of caution than it is to maximize performance.
So in theory, with the tune, you even improve fuel economy, potentially.
Yeah, essentially, yes. But you're technically really only improving that fuel economy under wide open throttle conditions. You know what I'm saying? Because it's already where the target should be.
Like regular driving.
Right.
Okay, okay. Is it worth it? Hell no, it's not worth it. It is not worth it.
It could potentially be worth it, but you have to tune it in order to take advantage of it. You know, because what I'm expecting is like this, everything between here and here to like flatten out. You know what I'm saying? So instead of it coming and then dipping back down and then coming up again, it's just gonna come up and kind of just carry straight across.
Ultimately, like that's my goal. Like, could care not too important about like the max power,
right?
But I want even the torque. It's just where it's at through the power band,
right?
And that's what I'm chasing.
Yeah. So like for some strange reason, like the mid range is just kind of almost non-existent in a way. Like, you know, you just got two bumps. Like this is your power band here, and then this is your power band here.
That's kind of like what's it called?
Butt cheeks.
Butt cheeks. That's the characteristics of the 2ZZ. So let's see if we can do something about that. The header's nice and hot. Let's go touch it.
So there's this gray wire, right? That gray wire, right, loops around to this wire, right, which loops around to this plug, right? This plug, the plug in question, this one, right? But what the problem is this is not for a ground. It is literally right here. It says ground. Why are these separately? Typically one to the engine, one to the chassis. It's to ground the ECU, not to ground a component being controlled by the ECU.
Sheesh. All right, so looking at this first impressions of this new harness, I'll be honest, I don't know. Some real skeptical things going on with this harness. It looks like whoever made this harness ran like a separate line that's supposed to go to the fuel pump, but it doesn't make sense because the pinout for the link, essentially it's two grounds that are supposed to go to the fuel pump relay, but this dude has wired literally two grounds that's supposed to plug it into the fuel pump. And one, the link ECU on its own probably doesn't have enough power to power the fuel pump. And two, they're grounds, so there's no power going. So we plugged in the harness anyway. Lamar's wiring up to the laptop. We're gonna try to start the car. And if it continues to run, as long as it runs shitty, just runs, then there's hope. Let's see what happens.
Take the car off.
Is that a good thing or
No.
a bad thing?
It's not good.
Why is the ECU on and the car's...
It's on. It's on.
What?
Yeah, ECU is online, connected.
That doesn't sound like it should be happening. So that means it's just drawing power all the time then.
Yes.
So overnight my battery would probably be dead.
Yes.
Well, maybe, no, it's my fault because I didn't learn how to pin things myself.
It's okay. So now, the good thing about this, right, is essentially we just have to figure out a way to have the fuel pump turn on. So only limiting factor is the fuel pump. Here, look at this log. It's reading proper battery voltage, intake air temps is working, the fuel strategy is working, TPS is working, crank cam position, blah 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 blah. Everything is working. So it's literally just a situation of somehow getting the fuel pump to turn on, and then you can tune in. So,
All right, video is way shorter than I intended. It didn't work. Once again, the harness failed me. Everything on the patch harness was reading on the laptop, but there's no fuel, no power to the fuel. I don't really know what to do. But full bolt-ons on a stock ECU, expect to gain about 10 horsepower all throughout the power band. Is it a win? Nah. Is it financially worth it without a tune? Probably not. I guess it sounds cool. Gotta be optimistic. Gains are gains, and I'll take it for now. Still down but not out. If you have a link to a Link ECU jumper harness or know a resource that could possibly help, send help.
He needs it.
I need it. Till then, keep driving those slow cars fast. Pass on the left.
You scared of what? Just go! Go! You're not going nowhere. No, what the fuck? Does that feel like you're there?